Hi, everybody. We are live 4 minutes into, like, after 9 o'clock when I promised that we are going to be live. Um, Bilal just texted me and said he'll be late. He'll be 10 minutes late, so we're going to wait on him. But I thought it might be a good idea for me to jump in and um, see exactly who's going to jump in early. I just want to say hello to everybody. I want to introduce myself for those of you who are new, for those of you who are going to see this video up on YouTube later. My name is Sorin. I'm a pharmacist in Ireland. I moved here from Romania 3.5 years ago. I founded my own company called Tcqr Recruitment, specialized in recruiting pharmacists from all over the world and training them in the Irish system, Irish pharmacy system, so that we could have you prepared and well able to start working in Ireland. When I came here, I went through the process all alone, all by myself, and I kept hearing the phrase, "You're being thrown at the deep end, and you have to learn to swim," which is not a pleasant feeling, believe me. So I after I learned everything on my own, I decided I could open my own company and help a lot of people, which I did. And I'm very thankful that God put it on my heart for me to do this. I've helped a lot of people start over in Ireland, build their career, find fulfillment and all that. So that's very, very fulfilling for me. For those who joined after I said it, Bilal is going to be around 10 minutes late. He just texted me there. But we can jump in and start. You can type in those questions that you've been willing to ask for so long. I'm going to be monitoring in the Facebook group to see exactly how we are. Yeah, we're live there. Perfect. So until Bilal comes along, he'll have a lot of stuff that he will share with you that I think you will find useful. He has an OSCE exam example that he went through, so you can see which type of questions you can expect to have in your OSCE exam. The poll in the Facebook group was, most of you chose like a general overview of how to prepare for the exam, and that's exactly what we're going to cover today. If you want to type in the questions where you're looking from, like where you're viewing, which country you're from, that would be helping us get to know each other better. I see a question here. Is Pakistani PharmD eligible to apply in Ireland? I think so. Yeah, so Bilal is from Pakistan and he applied and he passed the OSCE exam and everything. All he's waiting on is for the visa to get into the country and do his adaptation period. But yeah, Pakistani Farm DR. I got a question for the pharmacist from Pakistan. Is English an official language in Pakistan? I know some of the countries have English as an official language, which means you wouldn't have to sit an English exam, which is an academic level English exam, which is very, 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 very hard to pass, because no matter what you score in your OSCE exam, the result will only matter in determining if you are going to do a 6 months adaptation period, or if you score lower, you're going to do 1 year adaptation period. But the English exam, that's a different story. If English is not an official language in your country, you're going to find it very difficult to pass that English exam, believe me. Okay, what new changes will be implemented? I don't know. They're talking all sorts of stuff. Until I see it, I won't believe it. So we'll have to see. The major changes will be with the visa. Guys, don't expect it to be easy, or don't expect it for them to make it so easy that everyone can come, because then it will not be worth it for you when you arrive here. Because if all the hundreds of pharmacists that I have in my Facebook group say the PSI just quit all their demands and say, okay, you're all recognized pharmacists from tomorrow, the salaries will drop so much that you won't want to come. So do the hard stuff and you'll get the big paycheck. Do the easy stuff and you'll have a small paycheck. Sorry there, Bilal is texting me now. Perfect. Now, can we apply under critical skill visa as a pharmacist? Short answer is no. Long answer is you're not a pharmacist in Ireland. As far as Ireland is concerned, you're not a pharmacist. Your degree is not recognized here yet. You will be able to apply for critical skill visa when you are registered with the PSI. That means that Ireland recognizes your pharmacist degree, and then you can get a visa under the critical skills. That's where the gap in the legislation is, because the visa law won't allow you to come in the country to do your adaptation period, because you're not under the critical skill yet. You're under the critical skill when you are registered with the PSI. But in order to register with the PSI, you need to come into the country and do your adaptation period, which is why only people that came in, pharmacists that came in on spouse visa or student visa, have been able to register with the PSI so far. Now, that's the major thing that we want the government to change, which is to introduce a statement in the visa legislation that will allow you guys to come and do your adaptation period in a legal way. But at the moment, you cannot apply under the critical skill visa. Let's see. How can I take visa and enter to Ireland to take internship from Egypt? Internship for, as you mean, as an adaptation period, or what sort of internship? Is it for the pharmacy industry? I need details on this question. All right. Okay. Is there any source of exam recalls and materials to study for preparation to the exam, please? No, because StreamYard, the application I'm using to broadcast, won't show me who wrote the question. 1 second. Still chatting with Bilal here. He didn't get my link, so bear with me until I send him the link. Linko. Okay. Okay. Bear with me 1 little minute. Cool. So, Perfect. Now Bilal has the link to join us. And you won't have to put up with my annoying voice anymore. Let's see. All right. What are you guys up to? Okay. Okay. I'm cool. I see myself twice. Okay. I don't know why I heard myself with an echo. Yeah, thank you for the comments if you guys can hear me okay. If not, later kill you or help. Okay. Uh, it's probably worth mentioning. Okay, I'll cancel the noise on my end. 'Cause I hear you. If you guys can hear me. Bilal, can you hear me? Hey, can you hear me, Bilal? Okay, now I'm doubling myself. Remove. Okay, I'll remove this one. Can you hear me now? Your audio also removed. Add yourself back and use the layout buttons if you want to maximize your screen. Okay. Add yourself back and use the layout buttons. Can you hear me, Bilal? No, your audio was removed. Hmm.
Hello.
Okay, let's see. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Hello.
Perfect. Okay, I canceled the noise because I keep hearing myself, which I don't like. So I'll have to put very, very little. I thought I would only cancel my speaking, not my like you guys can hear me. Bilal, thank you for joining us. I let everyone know that you're gonna be a bit late. Now allow me just to make one statement, and I'm gonna pass it over to you. It's probably worth mentioning that what we're going to discuss today, is for non-European pharmacists only, because European pharmacists don't have to sit this exam. Because I saw a lot of our pharmacists in the Facebook group saying, "Yeah, we're gonna come," but what we're going to talk about here is only going to apply to non-European pharmacists. So just so you guys know, if you want to keep watching, but it's for non-European. Okay, Bilal, we have a series of questions. Some of them I answered so far. One of them was really interesting. It was Is Pakistani PharmD eligible to apply in Ireland?
Yeah, that's of course I am Pakistani,
I
and the
told him,
Pakistani pharmacists are eligible for this process.
perfect. Uh, Bilal, just in 2 minutes, could you give us a short, we have a lot of new pharmacists in the Facebook group. Just give us an overview of how a non-European pharmacist starts the process, goes through it, and then finishes it. And
Yeah,
then we're going to
surely.
go into OSCE.
So I will start with the initial stage of the documentation. There are total the four stages of the TCQR process, known as Third Country Qualification Recognition Road for non-European pharmacists to practice in Ireland as a pharmacist. So they have to start with the stage one, which is the documentation, in which all the documents from their respective institutes are directly sent to the PSI along with the application form of the PSI and 1500 euro fees, which is the fees of the whole process, not for the exam. This fees is for all the four stages. So initially you have to submit the application fees and then your good standing certificate and transcripts from your universities to the PSI by hard copies or by the email form, but should be from the official format of the email of the respected institute. After evaluation by the PSI in 2 to 3 months, you will get the response, and then you will be either eligible to sit in the stage two, which is equivalence examination, or your case will be referred to further evaluation or will be rejected. In next stage there will be examination which is called the equivalence examination, which is going to be held on 4th and 5th of October this year, which is the equivalence examination stage 2 of the TCQR process. And this is only the equivalence examination, in which you will be statistically evaluated by the assessor of by the panel of assessor through PSI, and then you will be assigned a period of adaptation, which could be either 6 months or up to 3 years. Or if you perform so well that your exams marks are above 60%, then there will be no adaptation period. Then there will be the stage three, which is adaptation period. You have to complete the period of adaptation under the supervision of the tutor pharmacist. And after completion of that period, you will be allowed to sit in the stage four, which is professional registration examination. So after stage four examination, you have to take IELTS, and then you can apply for the registration as a pharmacist with the Pharmaceutical Society of Ireland. So this is all in short terms about the TCQR process.
Perfect. Well said. Um, I remember one of the questions that was posted earlier in the Facebook group was, how much can you expect to earn within the adaptation period? And the answer to that would be anywhere from 12.50 to 14 euro per hour. To see how much you're left with after tax, look up on on my YouTube channel. Look up the video how to calculate um, your salary after tax, because it's on an individual basis. So you have to type in your specific numbers there. Okay, perfect. We can leave the question to the end. I answered this one. Bilal is not in Ireland yet, but we are working on it. Uh, Bilal, I sent the email that you asked me, and I'm still waiting on a reply. Okay. Let's see. There was another one. Okay, this one. Is there any source of exam recalls and materials to study for preparation to the exam, please? I think we kind of covered this in our WhatsApp group. If you're not in the WhatsApp group, then what are you doing? Like, you should be in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody's in my WhatsApp group there, and they're
Yeah.
sharing materials, and I think I saw a lot of books being shared there. You can ask for them to be resent to the group again. Bilal, do you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't hear me with an echo or twice or anything like that?
Can you repeat?
Do you hear me fine or with an echo?
No, no, you are okay.
Ah, I'm hearing myself like, and this never happened before, and it's so annoying
No,
for me.
I am listening. Okay.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. Now, Bilal, I'm going to hand it over to you, and whatever you think is useful for them, go ahead, walk us
Yeah.
through it. I'll step back.
Many time they ask this question, same reply that there is a list of suggested reading material by the PSI on their websites, but that list is very vast, so you can select the book of your choice. Like in pharmacology, if you talk about the pharmacology, they had mentioned the Rangendale, but you can study Lippincott or Katzeng, which is your taste. But you have to cover four main topics, which is pharmacology, pharmaceutical calculations, community pharmacy, and practical applications of the pharmacology, and then forensic pharmacy, which is the laws in applicable in the Ireland. So these four topics you have to cover for must. For these, you can follow book for any book for pharmacology. Then for forensic, for laws, you can download from the website, Irish Parliament website, or if not possible, you can get from the WhatsApp group. There are some files we had already shared, and pharmaceutical calculations I already shared in the WhatsApp group. The pharmaceutical calculations by Pharmaceutical Press, and for community pharmacy, any book you like, you can follow. So you have to cover these four top subjects mainly if you want to sit in the equivalence examination and you want to perform well.
Bilal, let me know if you want me to put on the screen any of the materials you've sent me earlier.
Yeah.
Is there any particular order you want to go through with the discussion?
Yeah, you were offline.
Yeah, I closed one of them because the application opened twice. That's why I was hearing myself with an echo.
Yeah, okay.
Hopefully, we're fine now.
I had given overview about the four major subjects which have to cover during the equivalence examination preparation.
The overview.
Yeah, like pharmacology, pharmaceutical calculations, then laws in the Ireland, and then the community pharmacy, the clinical applications of pharmacology.
Is that what you've sent me today? Any of those?
Today I send you the written OSCE.
Written ASCII. And do you want me to put that up now or later?
Yeah, today our topic is to elaborate how to deal with the written OSCE. There are two types of OSCE. One portion is verbal OSCE and other is written OSCE. The written OSCE will be held after the MCQ examination on day first, and day second will be specific for the verbal OSCEs only. So in written OSCE, same in 7 minutes you have to complete the written OSCE. One main thing which I want to tell all the candidates is about to be familiar about the time, because there will be 7 minutes only. So if you are attempting all the four questions of one OSCE and you are unable to press the submit button within this time period, then you will go in vain. So you have to press the submit button within the 7 minute duration. So if you are going to write after 7 minutes, then it will be a blunder.
Okay. That's new. I didn't know that really.
Yeah.
So each session has 7 minutes?
7 minutes, total 7 minutes for one written OSCE. You have to complete all the four questions of one written OSCE in 7 minutes. So when seventh minute is going to expire, you have to press the submit button of that OSCE.
Okay. Would you like me to bring that up on the screen, the written ASCII that you sent me?
Can you share on the big screen?
Yeah, I can. I just didn't know if you wanted me to. Okay, let's see now. Doo-doo-doo-dum-dum. And share my screen. Okay, share screen.
Yeah.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, now screen changed.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, you can see my Canva app there. Now, can you see Ritmanovsky Station 1 resource?
Not yet.
Share. It keeps opening in the Canva app. So when I say here share, percent. Okay, let's see it in a different way. Share screen, share the full screen. Entire screen. Oh no, just this one. Cool. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, it should be like this. It should open now. Now, can you
Yeah.
see that fine? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Now
going
I
to
can.
bring that up. Okay. Now, if you want to talk us through this,
So I will request you to first put on screen the candidate instructions, the questions.
the candidate instructions. Okay. Candidate instructions. Grande.
Yeah. Now this one.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. See, it is the question here about the first OSCE in which the scenario is written at the top by the PSI. All the candidates will be given like a scenario like it is. So there it is written you are a hospital pharmacist working on a ward in a city general hospital in Cork. The intern doctor has asked for your full advice on the administration of vancomycin for patient Mr. Abdullah who has a confirmed case of methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. Using the hospital's intravenous vancomycin use in adults, intermittent infusion guideline, Mr. Gomes is 53 years old, actual weight 82 kg and is 188 centimeter in height. So patient's note states that his current serum creatinine level is 130 micromoles per liter. You have reviewed the patient's current medication and you are satisfied that there is no therapeutic reason for Mr. not to be administered vancomycin. This is the scenario they put in forth of you. Now there are four questions they had given to you to solve within 7 minutes. So after reading this situation you have to solve, but there are resources they allowed you like BNF hard copy you can use, and there is a resource in the PDF form City General Hospital intravenous vancomycin use in adults, which Mr. Soren previously put on the screen. So that is the resource you can use to solve all these questions. In that resource, they had given the instructions regarding the loading dose, the maintenance dose, monitoring levels, suggested vancomycin dose adjustments, and at the end for creatinine clearance and therapeutic monitoring. Before going to that, we will first look at all the four questions. The first question is using City General intravenous vancomycin use in adults, intermittent infusion guidelines, calculate the loading dose of vancomycin for the patient. And second question is calculate the duration of infusion for the loading dose and the infusion volume for the loading dose. Third one is calculate the maintenance dose of vancomycin for the patient, and last one is what should the first vancomycin when should the first vancomycin level be taken. Now I will request you to change the screen to the other file.
To the other file. Okay. The Ritmanovsky or what?
No, the City General Hospitals intravenous vancomycin use in adults guidelines. The Ritmanovsky one, yeah, the other file.
Yeah, this one.
This one. This is the resource PDF file which the PSI in the examination is giving to the candidates. So if you are attempting the OSCE written OSCE and you get any other OSCE same like this one, you will get a resource like this. They will send you a PDF file in the chat box, then you can read this file and you can use this as your resource material while attempting the questions. So if you check all the questions there, all the questions answer are there in this PDF file. Like in first question, the using the City General Hospital intravenous vancomycin use in adults intermittent infusion guideline, calculate the loading dose of vancomycin for the patients. So if you change your file from candidate instructions to the PDF file, then check step 1. It is written as given, give one loading dose to all patients in the resource file. In the resource file, which is given to you by the PSI, it is mentioned. So uh, I will elaborate this also. I need just a minute. Yeah. Like the given dose, given one loading dose, it is mentioned that 25 mg per kg, maximum 2 kg, one loading dose you have to give, and infusion rate should be 10 mg per minute. It is written in this source material. So infusion you have to dilute in 500 mg in 100 ml, 0.9% sodium chloride solution. So calculate loading dose of vancomycin for the patient as it is given in the reference material that 25 mg is for 1 kg. So the patient weight already given in the initial scenario statement is 82 kg. So you will multiply 82 with 25 and there will be 2050 mg loading dose. But in the reference material, it is written that you have to round off the dose in multiples of 250. So you will give the dose 2 gram to the patient as the loading dose. So this will be the answer after checking the reference material, and you will put the answer in the blank space which will be given just below the question 1. Next, we will move to the question 2, which is calculate the duration of infusion for loading dose and infusion volume for the patient, and infusion volume for the loading dose. Here, as we know that in the written PDF file which the PSI sending you as a reference, the maintenance dose and its rate, that at what rate you have to give, it is written. From that file, you will get to know that 10 mg you have to give in 1 minute. So for 2 gram or 2000 mg, you can calculate your answer that it will be 200 minutes or 3 hours or 20 minutes. So I think everyone is understanding this, that questions, their scenario is there and answers are in the reference source. You can use BNF or you can use the PDF file given to you by the PSI. Answers are in that reference file. So no need to worry that you have to memorize the thing. You have to be vigilant only. You have to check from the reference source within the time duration. You not need to study all complete the details of reference material because it will waste your time. Just read the question and go to the specific heading and find the answer. Like if maintenance dose they are asking, go to step 2 as written in there in bold words, that maintenance dose. Check there, you will find the maintenance dose and parameters for the maintenance dose, and then you can calculate the rate of the maintenance dose. Next is the question 3, that you have to calculate the maintenance dose of vancomycin for the patient. For this, if you change the page of the reference source, please move to the next page.
Let's see. Next page.
Page number 2.
1 second.
Yeah, no,
This one?
it's not on the screen.
So this is the third thing you've sent me. Is this the one you're looking for?
No, not this one. The same file, but next page. Same file.
Same file. Okay. This one has another
This
page,
one.
does it?
Yeah, you have to move the page
Okay,
downward.
1 second. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, next one. Yeah, here the formula is given. You can check that it is written that calculating the patient's creatinine clearance, because you have to find the maintenance dose of vancomycin for the patient, and in the reference material the maintenance dose is given according to the creatinine clearance. So first you have to find out the creatinine clearance of the patient, and if you are able to find that creatinine clearance, then in next table you can check for what creatinine clearance what dose you have to give. So here you will find the creatinine clearance, all the values are given in this reference material, everything you can find this one. Then you have to calculate the creatinine clearance, and after calculating the creatinine clearance you have to go to the table which is for the maintenance dose, and there you will check the value of the creatinine clearance and the value of the maintenance dose, and that value which falls in same line, that will be the answer of the this question, and you have to write in specific blank space of the question 3. Then fourth and the last question is, when should the first vancomycin level to be taken? Same, you will again move to the page number 2 of this reference material, and here it is step 3, which is the monitoring levels. And if you study this one, you will get to know that you have to take the sample of the patient just before 2 hours of the dose. So from 0 to 2 hour of the next dose, you have to take the patient sample and you have to send to the laboratory. So in answer, you will write that you have to take the sample 0 to 2 hours before the next dose. And after this fourth question, you have to submit this OSCE and submit for must. Otherwise, it will be counted as unattempted. That was all for this written OSCE.
Cool. Guys, any questions to the written OSCE
Yeah.
so
So that
far?
it is better if we share this written OSCE, this we are discussing here in the WhatsApp group, so they can read and find what are the written and how they have to attempt.
Cool. Yeah, we'll share it in the WhatsApp group as well,
Yeah.
so they can download it. This is page 2 of it, and this is page 1. Okay.
There is a question that any source of previous exams question. So if I tell you this is the previous exam OSCE.
Okay, so this is previous exam OSCE. Okay. All right. I got a question in private saying, any changes done on legislation to be able to take internship visa? I'm not aware of any changes that happened to any visa as so far. So, as far as I'm aware, there's no change to any sort of visa. There's all discussions, and in Ireland, nothing happens quickly. You're gonna laugh when you come here, and you're gonna remember that I said it, because nobody stresses themselves out. Everything is done in a normal or slow pace, but never fast. So there's a lot of talking, and there's a lot of discussions, and very little doing, but no changes yet. I think this is the same person. How can I take visa to enter to Ireland to take internship from Egypt? The short answer is right now you can't, unless you get a spouse visa, which means your wife is a doctor and is on the critical skills list and gets into the country, and you get into the country as a spouse, or you sign up for some university studies or something like that, and then you get a student visa. These are the only two ways that you can enter the country at this moment. Okay. Let's read this one as well. As you described earlier, you said we can work in industry directly without registering there in PSI. So what's the process for that? And the answer is I have no idea. I don't recruit for industry, for pharmacy industry. I haven't been to the process so as to know for myself. So you will have to reach out to other sources if you want to come in like that. To give you a more like a larger answer, I think the employer has to commit to a 2 year something, and you could come in under the critical skill list that way. I believe pharmacists in the pharma industry are on the critical skills list, but as far as I'm aware, there's no employer that actually will hire you without you being here in person or stuff like that, and they will not commit to a 2 year contract without seeing you in person and seeing you work and stuff like that. And I get almost weekly, I get tens of messages for the pharma industry, so you're in for quite a big competition there. Mihai says hello, and I say hello back. Mihai, how are you? Let's see this long question. I have a 5 year degree program for PharmD, but the university itself doesn't allow students for internship. Is it mandatory for me to do an internship separately for 6 months to be eligible for TCQR? Okay. Do you know the answer to that, Bilal?
I know the answer. PSI mentioned that the internship should be the part of your 5 years degree program. So if you are doing it as a separate thing, it will not be accepted with this system. They are changing the system. If they accept later on, that's another matter. Up till now, they are not accepting this situation.
Cool. Okay. I don't know what this is meant to be, but it says I think 12 to 15 euro depends on employer. I think it's about what I said with the salary for the it's per hour, in case you got me wrong there. Okay, I have someone saying I have done an internship for 1 year in hospital setting, comma,
Yeah.
but there's no continuation. So I don't know. Like, do continue that sentence if you have a question to follow it. This one's for you. Hi, Bilal. I am sitting the equivalence exam on the 4th and 5th of October. Do you need to study the law of Ireland for the exam?
Hi, so hope you are good too. Yeah, I got 5 questions out of 80 from laws. So you should study because these 5 are free questions for you. There are pet answers for these questions. So you should study. I'm giving some examples of the last questions. I got one question that for how much time duration you have to keep the economical record of the firm.
Oh, okay. Cool.
This was the question which I faced. Another question was for how much days you can give the supply of emergency supply medications.
Ha.
Yeah.
What was
So
the
yes,
answer?
we discussed already. So the third one was that there are requirements in the prescriptions which should be monitored, and they asked how many are those requirements you have to monitor in the prescription.
So
Like
yeah, there's a lot of
it should be
legislation
in,
questions.
yeah, it should be in ink or typed one. So there should be signature or date or all the information. So there are different for different type of scenarios. So you have to be familiar with all types of the prescriptions. And there was a question that how much supply of OTC medication you can give and how you can give. Like in manufacturer box, you have to give or you can give loose.
Yeah, so over the counter you can only give full boxes.
Yeah.
But there are laws that say like you can't sell more than one pack of paracetamol to one person. So if the person comes in and says I want three of them, you can't sell them. You have to ask them if the person says they're for two or three different people, you can use your judgment there. But there have been cases where one case where a young girl bought two packets of paracetamol and she drank them both when she got home in order to commit suicide, and she ended up in the hospital and all that. And that pharmacy was never meant to sell the two packets of paracetamol. So be careful with the legislation there. Yeah.
Yeah, so legislations you must study to get all these questions correct.
Where did you study the legislation from, Bilal?
Yeah, I studied the Irish Pharmacy Law 2007. There is a file with me that is with the name of the forensic summaries which I got from some of my colleagues. I will especially thank to one of the Pakistani pharmacists. She is not yet registered. She is doing adaptation period in Ireland. She helped me a lot with this preparation.
Cool.
So I want to say thanks to her. So this is all due to her.
Nice. Nice. I like it when people help each other out. It makes
Yeah.
things easier for everybody. How long did it take you to get your results after sitting the exam?
It took almost 3.5 months.
Really?
Yeah, in November was my exam, and at in February I got the result.
Cool. Okay. Um, did you get any clinical trial questions?
Yeah, but one or two, not many.
Okay. And could you repeat what mark is needed to skip adaptation period? And does this mean you wouldn't need to do the pre-reg exam either?
No, the pre-registration exam is for must. You have to take that one. Only you can skip the adaptation period if you perform such that your written exam marks are up to 60%. So, and after verbal OSCE, your aggregate is also 60%.
Bilal, is English an official language in Pakistan?
Yeah, there are two languages we are using as official language. One is Urdu and other is English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pakistani pharmacists won't have to sit the dreaded English exam then.
But still not sure. But still not sure that have to take English exam or not. But I have
I
to dig
believe
out
not.
more.
No, I believe not. Like it says it clear on the PSI website that if English is an official language in that country, you won't have to sit the
Yeah,
exam.
it is making sense that if I get a official letter from authorities in Pakistan that the English and Urdu language two are official languages in Pakistan, then can skip this step.
Whew.
Yeah,
One less step. You
yeah.
have enough steps anyway. So, um, what is the link of the official website of Ireland Pharmacists equivalence, please? Like, is there an official website where is dedicated for the equivalence exam?
Yeah, it should be the website of the PSI.
Yeah, so it's all under PSI, under third country recognition route, I believe it's called.
Google it, you will find easily.
Yep. Can you use two screens in the exam?
Yeah, PSI is having an eye on you, so do not try things like this
So no, the answer would be no. Use
yeah.
just one.
Because your camera will be on for all the time. You cannot switch off the camera even if you have to go to the restroom.
Cool.
Even in
Uh,
breaks, there will be breaks between MCQs and written OSCE, but in break, your camera will also be open.
yeah, so be very, very careful. The Irish are really strict when it comes to rules.
Yeah.
So if they even think that you are attempting to break one of the rules, there will be no going back. They will stop the exam right then and there. Please share that OSCE. We will share it in the WhatsApp group. If you're not in the WhatsApp group, you should be. But if you're not, type it in the comments of this video in the Facebook group, and I will see that comment. Just type in OSCE, and I will see that, and I will send it to you. Do you get formula for creatinine clearance in the
Yeah,
exam?
it is given. Every formulas are given. Even the table is there in which you can find the dose for that creatinine clearance.
Cool. Can I get work permit while I'm on visit visa? Thanks a lot. Now, if it were that easy, everybody here would just do that. I would personally call Bilal to visit me. And
It will depend on your luck.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, the short reason is no, you can't. Then there would be really no need for a work visa, because then everyone would come just to visit and they would get a work permit and that would be it. But you can't get a work permit on a visit visa. Okay, question from our YouTube
Is it
visioner. Is it
OSCE?
possible to attend OSCE out of Ireland, or is it required physical presence in Ireland? I'll let you
Yeah, the
answer.
exam is online virtually, so you can attend wherever in the world you are.
So the whole process can be done online, except, so when you pass all that, you just need to come physically into the country to do your adaptation period. But before the adaptation period, everything that needs to be done can be done online. Thanks to COVID, by the way. If it wasn't for the COVID, I think you'd still need to come to the country. Now, can you give us any examples of questions from legislation? I think you've
Yeah.
given some so far, but if anyone comes to mind, just give another example of
Yeah, I think
legislation.
I already shared the examples which I got.
Perfect. So they're in there. Um, okay. There's one that's not a comment. After getting equivalency from PSI, do we need to visit Ireland for OSCE, and if yes, then how?
I think they are mixing the process. So in initial equivalency exam, the OSCEs are there. Like day first is for the MCQs and written OSCE, and day second is for the verbal OSCE. And after getting clearance from this step, you have to fulfill the stage three, which is the adaptation period. You have to go in Ireland and complete that step. And the last step after adaptation is stage four, which is the professional registration exam that you have to take while you are in Ireland.
So it all goes on online until, so OSCE and every other exam that you need to do is online. Those are the first steps. After that, the PSI will say you need to do a 6 months or a 1 year adaptation period, which means you have to work in a pharmacy in Ireland, being supervised by a pharmacist that unfortunately has to do a course especially for that. So you have to find a pharmacy where the supervising pharmacist is willing to actually go and do a course of, I don't know what period, like a few days or something like that, or a few hours, and get a degree for him to be able to take you in as being your tutor for your adaptation period. So I know a few pharmacy owners that have pharmacists that have done that, so I'll be able to find places for some of you, hopefully most of you, but depending on how many there will be, like, you have to know that not any pharmacy can just say, yeah, come in and do your adaptation period with us. No, one of their pharmacists, either the supervising pharmacist or the support pharmacist, has to do a course based on that, and has to actually spend time with you every day going through whatever you need to know about the Irish pharmacy. And at the end of that period, they have to sign off that you have done a good job and actually tried your best to adapt to the Irish system. Hopefully that answers that question. When is the date for the exam?
So this year the exam now is happening on 4th and 5th of October.
Cool. And I think there are places in November and January as well. And they're all on the PSI website, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so www.psi.ie. How long does it take to fulfill adaptation period in average? 6 months?
It depends. You have
Or
to
1 year?
complete that period successfully, and there will be a set of the requirements that you have to fulfill, and that will be given as a direction to your supervising pharmacist by the PSI. So he will assess you, and then he will assign you the marks according to the criteria given to him by the PSI. So you have to pass. You have to pass this adaptation period successfully in the time limit the PSI assigning to you. So they are, if you are getting the adaptation period for 2 years, they will give you 2 years for the completion of the adaptation periods and pass 3 years limit to complete that adaptation period. So total you
So,
will get the 5 years limit.
yeah. So the higher you score in your exams before your adaptation period, the more you gain trust with the PSI. And the PSI will say, okay, we trust that you can learn everything you need to know about the Irish pharmacy in 6 months. But you have to do it in those 6 months. You have to pick up everything that your tutor says, and you have to take in that information. And you have to show that you're able. You have to gain the trust of your tutor pharmacist that you're able to practice in Ireland on your own. If you score lower on your exams, the PSI will probably say, okay, you need 1 year for the adaptation period. And if you score really, really bad, they'll probably give you 2 years. Am I
three
right,
years
Vila?
No, it varies from 6 months to 3 years.
Have you ever heard of about anybody doing a 3 years adaptation period?
Yeah, 3 years I have heard.
Really?
Yeah.
Eesh. I, I wouldn't I wouldn't have the patience, to be honest.
Yeah.
um yes, so in your adaptation period you can work as a front of shop staff, like selling over the counter items, or you can work as um, a technician, which is in the dispensary with the supervision of the pharmacist. Okay. I'm gonna give you one more shot of asking questions because I don't see any questions left here. Um, Guys, the Romanian football team was playing tonight, and they never win. And I think they might have won just now. So um, I hope you appreciate that we've put aside this time to answer your questions. I don't see any more
Something I
questions
want to
coming.
say here.
Sorry,
I want to say something here.
go ahead.
Like all the candidates who are attempting the exam this year, there are a lot of information in the reference material the PSI will provide to you. That will be just to confuse you or to waste the time. So you have to focus only according to your question. If you are going to read all the sportive materials, it will waste your time. No one will stop you. So better read the question and find the relevant answer and leave all other things. So there, like there is a complete scenario written in every OSCE. So in that complete scenario, only two or things are important for you. So you have to focus, you have to highlight those things, and all the four questions you have to attempt within 7 minute duration. And before last 5 or 6 seconds, I will say that you should submit your OSCE. So anything wrong could not be happen.
Cool. All right. That about wraps it up. I'm sure there will be a lot of questions in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
If you're watching this at a later time and you don't know what's the group we're talking about, just join the Pharmacists for Ireland Facebook group. And there, usually one of the first posts that pops up is a video that says, "Do you want to be in the WhatsApp group with all the pharmacists going to TCQR?" It looks awesome. And I even put music on it and stuff like that. And you just type in the comments there and you say, "Yeah, I want in." And then I'm going to say, "Give me your phone number." And you're going to say, "This is my phone number." And I'm going to say, "You're in."
There
And
is a question. There is a relevant question. Is there a timer?
is there a timer?
Yeah.
And is there a timer
That
for?
person is asking, is there is a timer? Yeah, of course, there will be a timer at the top side of your online screen. So that timer will be running out. You can look at that timer while attempting the questions, while attempting the exam.
So yeah, it makes sense that they would give you a timer so you wouldn't be like, time up. No,
Yeah.
you in any exam, I think, especially online ones, they give you a timer. There is no inconvenience. Any question is welcome. Is it easy to open my private pharmacy in Ireland after adaptation period?
If
It's
you have
doable.
investment, you can open before adaptation also.
Yeah. You don't have to be registered with the PSI to open your
Yeah,
own. You just have
only.
to hire a pharmacist.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's relatively easy. Yeah, there are a lot of pharmacists opening their own pharmacies, and most of them are opening them as franchise because a franchise would give you all the data protection stuff, and all the legal stuff would be sorted, and they make it really really easy, but you have to give them part of the profits. I don't know what percentage, but it's not that hard. The pharmacists are opening their own shops all the time, so go for it. Okay. This is a continuation, I believe, for the one with is there a timer, or can you bring your
Yeah,
own
so
watch?
can you bring your own watch even for your MCQ exam? So here I will add this, that rely on the timer of the Zoom portal. So if you are relying on your own watch, there may be a difference of few seconds because every second counts there. So if you are submitting 1 second later, it will be rejected. So rely only on the timer which is on the screen.
So do it like in the movies when they go 3, 2, 1, and they
Yeah,
cut the
yeah, yeah,
wire.
yeah. Same. It was happening.
It was like that in my English exam. I had 20 minutes to write a essay of 700 words or maybe
Yeah.
more. I don't even remember. And I was like, tuk, 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 and I hit submit, and then I watched the timer go 1-0. And
Oh,
if I was a second or two
it could be
later,
the same situation here.
yeah. So definitely watch your timer there. One more question. The book you mentioned for Osce by Pharmaceutical Press, does preparation from this book is enough for both written and verbal Osce's?
Yeah, we cannot say enough, but it will help you a lot.
Cool. It will do
Because
most of the
OSCE
job.
you have to practice. As much as you will practice, you will get over it. So if you are not practicing the OSCE, so it will be difficult for you to handle. Like you have to question daily to anyone else, to any patient, to any of your colleague, then it could be helpful for you, because there is a set pattern of a questions that you have to follow, and you have to follow in all the cases. So there confusion generates if you are not practicing the OSCE in your regular routine, and there is exam, so there is a male patient, but there you have a pattern. So if you are asking, you will likely to ask all the question, like if you are not focusing that patient is male and you are asking the questions like, are you pregnant, breastfeeding? So it will not make sense. So better practice at home, then go for exam, so you know what things you have to focus while attempting the questions. For male patient, separate series of questions. For female patient, separate series of questions. So you have to do that.
Cool. Is Ireland really needs foreign pharmacists? The answer is yes. But again, I don't see who writes the questions because of the software I'm using. It just says Facebook user. Could have grabbed my phone to see. Guys, there is a need for pharmacists in Ireland, and I have recruited tens of European pharmacists, and there is still a high demand because Ireland is expanding. Like the population here is growing every day. People from all over the world are flooding in. New neighborhoods are built. New pharmacies are built. The ones that are already built, they need pharmacists. I wouldn't have opened my own recruitment company if there wasn't a need for foreign pharmacists, because 90% of the pharmacists that I recruit come from outside of Ireland. So there is a need. But whenever I see a question typed in like this level of English is not enough. Um, so when you grow your hopes up and say, yeah, I'm going to do everything I need, while you're training for all the Osce and all that stuff, please work on your English, because it's not, you're going to go through all of the exams and all that, but you're not going to pass the English exam unless you have a very high level of academic English. It's not a normal English exam, it's an academic level English exam. So they have very, very high standards. And if you're going to counsel, even if you come from a country where English is an official language and you won't be required to do the English exam, if a customer comes and says, I want to speak to the pharmacist, and you won't speak in a very, very good English, it's not going to go well. I've given example in the Facebook groups of how two letters, a word in two letters, by or if or with or something like that short, if you used wrongly, can lead to serious errors in the patient taking the medication wrongly. So please, 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 please work on your English. Okay, one more and we're gonna finish. We're gonna wrap up with that. How much the total time for MCQs exam?
I do not remember exactly, but I think 120 minutes for 80 MCQs. There are three sections. One is for pharmacology, second is for pharmaceutical calculations, and last one is for basic science. 40 questions from first part, 20 questions each from other two parts. You can attempt any section at first, any other section at second, and you can make sequence. But if one question is on the screen, you have to attempt that questions. You cannot skip. Either you have to attempt or you have to let it go by itself. No need to attempt, because once it's go away from the screen, it will not appear again. So in 120 minutes, you have to attempt all the questions. You cannot repeat at the end.
Perfect, thank you. What is the IELTS academic score required to work in Ireland? Just Google,
7.5.
yeah, just Google PSI language requirements, and it will take you to the PSI website where you can see how much you need to score in each of the writing and reading and listening and whatever there is there.
Yeah.
An average, I think the average is 7.5, isn't it? Yeah. So basically, IELTS would be one of the hardest ones to pass. I think OET would be the easiest based on the experience of tens of pharmacists. I've seen pharmacists that failed IELTS by a lot, and then they tried OET and they almost passed it first attempt, and they passed it on the second attempt. Perfecto. No more questions. Everybody got sorted. Everybody knows what they have to do now.
Yeah.
hopefully, hopefully we shed some light. So we try to make it as clear as possible. Um, but yeah, there will be more questions in the WhatsApp group, and we'll be answering them there. Um, cool. Anything else that you want to add, Bilal, before we end?
Uh, for written OSCE, we try to cover all the aspects. If anything is there, I will share in the WhatsApp group. But at the end, I will say again that do practice verbal OSCE and keep watching your timer while attempting the written OSCE.
And practice at home with the stress of the timer. Practice it
Yeah.
under real conditions. So when you're practicing at home, just try looking at the timer and timing yourself and going at the timer and all that again. Because if you do that for the first time in the exam, your head is gonna spin. So just simulate it in conditions as real as possible,
Yeah.
because it will do
So if
you
you are
well.
if you are able to attempt 3 out of 4 questions and time finished, then do submit. Do not go for fourth questions. At least your 3 are attempted. If you are going to attempt fourth one and time is out, then all will be go in vain. So if 3 attempted well, you have to submit. No need to go for fourth one.
Oh yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, good advice right there. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so better to send 3 questions than none. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna keep it short and nice. No more questions. Okay, thank you for joining us, guys. We'll probably see you in other future interviews. Um, hopefully, this has been useful for you guys. Just type any questions that you might have in the Facebook groups or on WhatsApp, and we'll probably answer them there as well. Okay, I wish everyone
Yeah.
a good night and happy preparing for the exams.
Yeah.
Okay,
Best of luck
everyone.
to all of you.
All right.